haven't personally. I think I've been very lucky though. I have heard quite a few incidents, but yeah, I think it has been monitored quite well, I think, as of late, yeah.
If you're going to go in the valley, walk as fast as you can and do not make eye contact.
I have actually a couple of times, just in Ann Street out the front of the beach.
I haven't had it recently, but as a drag queen, we often get people, you know, saying rude things, or I've been spat at before.
Welcome back to QTV. We're lucky tonight to be joined on the couch by Acting Inspector Steve Batterham and Acting Senior Sergeant Rod Bell from the Queensland Police Service. Thank you very much for joining us, guys.
Thank you.
You're most welcome. Glad to be here.
Tonight we're focusing on safety in the community. Brisbane City and Fortitude Valley can sometimes be dangerous places. What advice would you give to our viewers to keep themselves safe when they're out after dark?
Look, there are a number of things, and safety in the community is one of the key things that the Queensland Police Service exists for. In fact, just recently we changed our whole structure to have stop crime, make the community safer and build relationships across the community. So this fits really well within what we want to do. And so particularly with after dark situations, what we really encourage first up is that everybody understands that they have the right to feel safe in any situation. So that's the first key one. The second point is that to trust your instincts, to really, you know, if you're feeling a bit unnerved about something, then it probably means something's actually happening. So just to trust your instincts. Specifically in terms of after dark and safety around that, what we really encourage people to do is to make sure they have a plan. They've planned it out. In other words, they know that they're going to get the 11:53 train home or the 12:30 cab with friends or something like that. Don't just go into town not thinking ahead, which a lot of people can do. And another, I guess the last thing, the really key thing is to make sure that you're with trusted friends so that you stay and hang with your group and don't go alone by yourself or with somebody you don't know.
Mm.
Okay, so what should someone do if they're in a situation where they don't feel safe?
Another really good question, and I guess depending on the circumstances, we always like to say to remove yourself from that situation. That's the first thing. Now that's going to be dependent on a lot of things. It could be, say, if it's in a nightclub or something like that, you might ask the person who's making you feel uncomfortable to move away, or you might get up with your friends and move away. If it's walking down the street and somebody approaches you and you're feeling unsafe, you know, you might jump on a mobile phone or just start talking to somebody you don't even know next to you, so it looks like they're with you. Another really important thing is to be confident, just with body language. So, you know, if you're looking down and feeling nervous, and I guess people can pick up those signals, so try and bluff as much as you can in those sort of circumstances, but the key message is to remove yourself from any unsafe situation, you know, and to carry your mobile phone obviously on you, and so if you can ring somebody, to stay in, make sure you stay out in public places, don't sort of go running down an alley or something like that to escape, or to remove yourself. Yeah, so there's some of the key things that we would suggest.
And certainly some of those situations where you do feel threatened, it may be that you need to resort to physical violence to actually defend yourself. So you need to look at what are your strengths, what are the strengths of the person that you're dealing with, and try and make an assessment very quickly, obviously, if you're feeling threatened, about what you can do in that particular time. So if you're, you know, it may be that you need to do what that person says. If they've got a knife or a firearm, for a period of time you might need to just follow their instructions until you can find yourself a way in which you can escape. It might also be that, you know, having to defend yourself is the best way to go as well. So there's no right situation for the way in which you do things.
Fantastic, thank you very much. Now, I suppose with the onset of online dating and its very large popularity, this has been coming forward in the gay community as well. What steps do you recommend that people could follow in terms of protecting themselves and keeping themselves safe in that situation?
Yeah, sure. And it's such an expansive area now where people are using online dating to try and find people that they want to go out with. So, it's a great way to meet people, but it inherently comes with some risk because of that anonymity that comes with being online. You're trusting that that person's providing you with the information about who they are, but you can't trust that that's actually correct. So what we suggest that if you are online, keep personal information initially to yourself. So don't give out your home address, don't give out your home phone number. Keep that to yourself until you get to build that relationship with those people. After that, if you do decide to go that extra step, if you go off the site and want to communicate with them, use a mobile phone to speak to someone. Don't give them your home phone number. Don't give them your home email address as well. So you can get an external email address just for that particular circumstances. So get a Google or a Yahoo one that then you can communicate through that. If you do decide to go to that final step of actually wanting to meet that person, don't get your own way there. So that way, if it all turns bad and you want to leave, don't be reliant on that person having to take you home. So have your own home way of getting home. Also, if you could bring a friend along as well, even if they don't come with you, just sit by, get them to give you a call 15 minutes into your meeting or with your date. That way, if it's not going well, you can use that phone call as a way of getting out of it.
That's a really good idea. What would you say if they do become a victim of crime? What can we do then?
Absolutely. One of the first things I said when we started was that the key reason we exist is to work with the community to stop crime. So we can only do that if we know that crimes have happened. So going back to what I said previously, remove yourself from the situation as best as you can, but to report it to police straight away. Now, it may be that police will need to come and may need to go to a hospital to see a doctor or whatever the situation is. But by police reporting it to police, we at least know. There are even some online, particularly with sexual assaults, where you can report them online but remain anonymous. So at least we know that things are actually happening around the place, and particularly with offences of assault or around those. Remember that evidence is critical, so don't go and have a shower and clean all the blood off, or if you've been assaulted with a knife or something like that, or your clothing, because police will need to do that. And a recent addition to one of the services we offer is Support Link. So police who come out once you've reported the crime can offer a number of different referrals to different agencies who are experts in the various fields. So you can actually go and get support and help, and that can only really be done through reporting it initially.
Some great advice there, thank you. What can you tell us about the role of the LGBTIQ liaison officers in the QPS?
You're there for us, and
we
can contact you if we need to.
You can. Our police website has a list of the over 100 liaison officers that we have within the QPS. So if you need someone to talk to where you maybe don't feel comfortable about the particular issue and speaking with an officer in general, you can look up our website. Their names and phone numbers are there. You can speak to them knowing that they've had additional training, that they'll understand the circumstances that you're in if you come from one of the LGBTI communities, and that they'll be an understanding ear. Now, they won't necessarily take the complaint from you, but they'll forward you on to the appropriate area.
That's an absolutely fantastic service to have. So we'll make sure that we have all the details about that up on our Facebook page, including the other services that you were talking about. Thank you very much, Steve and Rod, for joining us tonight. Greatly appreciated. We'll be back after this next break, so stay with us here at QTV.